Greetings, it's Barbara J. Faison, your mindfulness and meditation ambassador. I hope all is well. I affirm all is well in your world. I'm here. I've been absent for a little over a week doing anything live, and I just wanted to share that you never know. Life is truly unpredictable. When I wrote my book, Why Struggle? Life is Too Short to Wear Tight Shoes, 19 years ago, who knew I would be referencing it in this particular way? I wanted to share something with you that happened to me last week because you never know what has happened to someone. I have been doing a mindfulness and meditation group at my job for a couple of years, and last week I was meeting with three of the ladies that are in my group, and we were celebrating. We actually all are no longer at the same place of employment, so no, I'm no longer at my job that people know I worked at, and so I'm not working there anymore. And we went to a restaurant to have dinner, and as we were having dinner, you may have heard about the event last week at one of the local restaurants where a gunman came in and started to shoot. So please bear with me. I'm going to try to talk about this because I think it's important, and I believe that I was there for a reason, and the things that I've been talking about in my book are coming to play in this particular situation. So as we were having a seat and about to end dinner, we heard a voice from the back that said, we heard a noise, and it was a gunshot. And I can't remember if it was more than one or two gunshots, but I heard someone say, everybody down. And we all got under the table. It was three of us. One was small enough to get underneath the bench, and we laughed about that and said, my big butt could not get underneath the bench. But I was under the table, and I just continued to touch the young women that were with me and just remind them that all was well. And I truly felt in my heart at that time that I knew that this was not where I was going to make my final exit. And I just kept breathing. And I kept saying, all is well. Just breathe. Just breathe, ladies. All is well. And we just stayed there. And we did hear someone in the background that was a police officer, a retired police officer, say, please stay down until the police arrive. And we just stayed down. And then when we got up, we could not find the fourth person in our party. So it took us a few minutes to find her. And that was probably just as equally stressful. I'm sharing this with you because I think it's important for a couple of reasons. One is it was traumatic. I'm a pretty brave girl. Thanks for joining, Lisa. I'm a pretty brave girl, but I have to say that while I was concerned, I did not feel at that moment that I was going to die. I felt concern for the people around me, and I was grateful because I just knew that I was divinely protected. That's one of the things I see on a regular basis, is that I am divinely protected at all times. I do believe that things happen to people for specific reasons, and oftentimes we don't know why they happen. I also believe that it's important when something traumatic happens that we recognize that and we also reach out for help. So I did. That night, after we gathered together, after we found the fourth person in our party, we held hands, we took deep breaths. I wanted to scream and do a scream therapy, but since the police were still there, I was told that we probably should not do that, so we did not. But I made sure that all the ladies got home. I made sure I made it home safely. And when I got home, honestly, I started to use the tools that I've been using for years. I did something that's called a HaKriya. That's a HAKRIYA. And then I went on to my phone and I found Insight Timer, which is one of my favorite meditation apps. I love sound vibration, and I found something on there that was a Tibetan sound vibration for the root chakra, which is the chakra for safety and security. And I listened to that, as well as I listened to a meditation that kind of relaxed me to sleep as I lay on the floor, and then I got in the bed. The next day, y'all, I was exhausted, and I know it was because of the adrenaline that finally came down. So I wanted to come online and share that with you because I had been trying to do pretty frequent Facebook Lives and posts, but I needed to do some extreme self-care. I needed to take care of myself, and in taking care of myself, that meant that I had to step back. I had to ask for help. The next day I did call, and I did call to speak to a counselor. I recommended the ladies with me also call and speak with a counselor. One of the things they told me was sharing the story helps you kind of release it. So I was able to share the story. I shared it with my family, with my close friends. And I just continued to share it, and which is kind of counter to what I normally would do, but it did give me some relief to share it and to experience it. Things are always working out, right? That's one of my favorite things. So when I called the counselor I was given, she was booked until September the 19th. And I thought, wow, I'm someone before then. So I did. And I spoke with her, and she said, well, I may have a opening on the Friday. And guess what? She had an opening on Thursday. So I was able to speak with her. She gave me this amazing, and I will take a picture of it, this tangled ball of emotions. And I think this is just a great visual. And it reminds me of the brain, but it takes you through all these emotions. And I know about the emotions of grief to some degree, but it was great to have a visual that I could look at when I did speak with her. I wanted to read one of my Why Struggles because I think it has helped me. It's the one that's called Acceptance. And it has really helped me with accepting, because I had definitely felt a little off my game on a lot of levels, and that is to be expected because, who is underneath the table at a restaurant? So that was quite traumatic, and I can laugh about it now. I was not laughing about it last week. Acceptance. Grant me the serenity to change the things I can, the courage to accept the things I cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference. These words by Reinhold Niebuhr can change your life if you choose to live them. Acceptance isn't resignation. Acceptance is receiving what has been presented. When my grandfather and father died within 2 weeks of each other, I had to accept that as a fact. Denying the obvious would not change what happened. I felt all the emotions that would be expected in that situation. Allow yourself to accept things so you can move forward with your life. Remember, you don't want to walk around with a hot coal in your hand, so learn the art of accepting each moment and moving forward. We will never understand everything that happens. When something happens, accept the event as a fact. Let the next moment come into play and be present to that moment. When someone does something that you don't agree with, repeat the affirmation, I cannot change the way that person is. I accept the beauty that they have to offer. Try this for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, then make it a life practice. And that is the practice. The affirmation is, I am open and accepting of all people. I forgot to mention that one of the other things I did on Tuesday, as I lay and let the sound vibration kind of cover me, I also did radical forgiveness. If you know anything about me, you know radical forgiveness is a tool that I definitely support and I practice. So I made sure I did that. And I just immersed myself from a self-care standpoint. I just immersed myself in meditations. I relaxed. I slept. I cried. I talked to friends. I talked to my brother who's just great. And, I just immersed myself in that. And I'm doing this mindfulness-based stress management class, which was the next day. So I went to that, and it was great to be there and to be able to express what had happened. We only have this moment. And underneath the table at a shootout definitely is a reminder of we only have this moment. What I do know is I've been talking about a lot of tools over the years. Meditation and mindfulness are tools that you hear me talk about. As I say, I am your mindfulness and meditation ambassador. And I will tell you that my belief in a higher power, in God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is what kept me sane and calm while I'm underneath the table, not knowing what was going on. It is that and knowing to breathe, to take deep breaths, to use what I like to say is train my brain, mind my mind, and pay attention to how I feel and what I'm thinking about. Those are two things that I did in those moments that allowed me to be a calming presence for the young women that were with me because they were younger. They were 20, 25 years younger, 20 years younger than me. And in the end, they said they knew those tools, but hearing me say the words helped them stay calm to some degree. I just wanted to share what happened, why I have not been online, what I did, which was use the tools, how I felt. When I talked with the counselor, we agreed that had a couple things going on from a grief standpoint. The job was something I'm grieving. My mom's transition from a couple of years ago still strong in me, so I'm grieving that. And then I'm grieving the loss of my peace and tranquility. So I took care of myself. I used the tools. I surrounded myself with people that love me and care about me, and I was able to do a few things. But I must say, the next day I did go to Waffle House, y'all. If you know me, you know I love the Waffle House, and I have got to have a good waffle. And the Waffle House near me had been closed. They tore it down, and it happened to be open. See, things are always working out for me. The Waffle House was open. And so I went to the Waffle House, and one of the things the counselor said to make sure is that you don't isolate yourself, that you go out. You know, and my husband was so great. He made sure when we went out that I was okay. And it's great to have those people that checked on me and continue to check on me. I was really foggy, and I told her I was really foggy. And she said that that is to be expected because I'm still processing what's going on. I am feeling that I'm moving back to being less foggy. I don't feel nearly as foggy. And I'd like to say that, you know, normal, what's normal? I think everything in the world is moving so quickly these days. We just have to make sure that we are mindful of how we feel, to be in touch with our feelings, which I'm doing that, and having the conversation with someone who is a professional. I think that's really important. Oftentimes we don't do that. And so I did get counseling for that, as well as the job transition information. So I'd never been to counseling. So now I've gone to 2 specific counselors for specific things. And it's been helpful to talk to someone that doesn't know me, that can give me some insight on my thoughts. Someone who has a professional background in certain things. And that has just been priceless. So I just wanted to come online again to say where I've been, that you never know. Life is truly unpredictable. Be clear about what's important to you. Now, 15 years ago, I used to say, you know, meditation is optional. And I'm just going to tell you, I just don't believe meditation and mindfulness is optional anymore because of the world we live in. We live in a world that truly, if you don't take care of your mind, you can go nuts. And I'm so grateful that I started these practices and that I have people that I can talk to that remind me about the practices and that support me, and the type of people that can give me additional practices to do. So I just wanted to come on board and come online and just say thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned. I am working on some projects, so things will be coming out, and I'm just taking it easy, enjoying myself and taking care of myself. And I appreciate your support. And please feel free to share. The things I want to reiterate is that be in the moment, be clear about what's going on, and make sure that you are tuned in to this moment. That's all we have. To ask for help, to be kind, because you never know what someone has experienced before they're in your presence. As who knew that I would be in a restaurant where there was a shooting. I just never could have predicted that. And it's just a reminder of how unpredictable life is. But when we take the time to be still, we can get clear and we can choose well. I'm Barbara J. Faison, your mindfulness and meditation ambassador. I thank you for tuning in. And if you like this, please share. You can find meditations at my YouTube channel as well as on my Facebook page. And stay tuned and create an absolutely amazing day, because you are the creator of your life. So why not create something amazing? Thanks so much for joining, and please leave comments and let me know your thoughts. Thank you.